I can't. We're 20% of the way through a Ben Shapiro video, and the vast majority of the shit that I've done is laugh and agree with him. And this is bad. I'm gonna get in trouble. Just need to move on to the next one. Now to move on to somebody who we all know is definitely heterosexual. Ben Shapiro. I mean, I have to assume, right? I just don't get the vibe. I want to see his TikTok breakdowns. Give me that quality Ben Shapiro content. I want to see him. I want to see his wacky editing. Ben reacts to insane woke TikToks, Volume 9. I want popcorn. Benny boy!
It's okay if you're misgendered.
What is going? All right. Okay. This is a 40-second Raiders of the Lost Ark opening reference. That is crazy. I'm not dealing with the DMCA gods for that one.
Well, folks, if you keep watching these woke TikTok videos, then that means that my producers will keep torturing me. And the population has responded, and so
Let's
we're
go.
here again for another round of torture. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Don't look right! Keep your eyes shut!
Okay, as we all know, the editing on these videos is especially cringy, so just stay frosty.
Why what happened at the Oscars is not something white people need to speak on right away. There is so much nuance and complexity and layers.
Oh God. I'm gonna have to side with Ben on this one. Anytime a leftist looks into a camera and says this is why men or white people shouldn't speak in this issue, instantly, I'm far right. I whiplash. You're bringing me all the way around the other side of the political compass.
You're so boring!
Okay, wait, hold on, Ben.
Right away. There is so much nuance and complexity and layers.
You're so boring!
You will not be able to understand through your white experience without education and listening to specifically black women.
Wait!
Which we all know
Hold
many
up.
people do.
Why do I have to listen to black women about this? Just a black dude smacking another black dude across the face. What does that have to do with black women? Also, I guess this person is on The Bachelor. Run like f***ing hell. Run, gentlemen.
Wait, they're on The Bachelor? Oh shit. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. So far, this is a W for Ben. He's got this one. Listen to black women before you can talk about the two black men. Shut up. Shut up. I'm going to ignore a black woman now to compensate for this. In any context, you know. There'll be a cashier at Target. She'll be like, hey, can you pay? And I'll say no, and I'll leave.
So when you share your perspective or your education on what you perceive to have happened...
Wait, not what I perceived to have happened last night. What happened? Will Smith smacked the dude on national TV. I didn't perceive it. Okay, we're now going to, like, the full left-wing view, which is that if a baby is born, and the baby is clearly male, and the doctor said...
No, Ben. You have a good point here. You're dealing with an actually dumb take. Don't ruin this. Why would you, like, because it always has to be brought back to the culture war thing at the moment, you know? So it can't just be enough to get this point. It has to go, yeah, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Ben, you almost win an entire point with my approval.
Says you have a male child. Then he's assigning the gender.
I think it's a little early to start imposing roles on it, don't you?
That's based, by the way. What is that from again? I've seen this before, and it's in its original. What is this from again? Monty Python. That's right. Monty Python. Have any of you guys seen the Black Adder skits? The Black Adder bits were really, really good. A lot of them were really good. I remember liking them a lot when I was a kid. Some of them were kind of just like sort of dumb, but a lot of them were really, really good. Hey, Rowan Atkinson.
So now, if you watch a man smack another man across the face on national TV, it's what you perceive to have happened, but is it really what happened? Is there some sort of mystery world in which this didn't happen? Oh, you're so obnoxious.
Well, who's making that? Okay, he has to be pulling these edits from somewhere else. These are high effort edits.
What happened? Is there some sort of mystery world in which this didn't happen? Oh, you're so obnoxious. You're not special. You don't get to only have an opinion because you're you. I don't even know who you were until producer Savvy told me you were on The Bachelor literally 15 seconds ago.
It's coming through your white lens, which has you on a place of moral high ground, lacks understanding of black trauma, has such an emphasis on this binary of who is good or who is bad, centers violence, only actually continue.
Fuck, this is another correct argument from Ben Shapiro.
Continues to minimize Black women and their pain. And most annoyingly,
What the fuck? Why am I? God damn it! He's falling out his A game here.
continues to center yourself on shit that really just is not your business. So just take
It was on national TV.
right away. Really try and look at the entire situation before you.
The entire situation is you're an obnoxious human. Shut up.
Because what you fail to see through your white lens was the
You just keep
actual violence
going.
occurring. The continued violence that is
Ableism?
that is misogynoir.
Misogyny. Okay, first of all, I want to
God damn it!
focus in on this term misogynoir. And it's not misogyny. It's misogynoir, which means that it's like in the 1940s and there's a narrator and it's shot with a lot of chiaroscuro, like dark imagery. It's really quite fit. Misogynoir, starring Humphrey Bogart. If this person were in a room, I would run straight through a wall to get away from this human. This human is so crazy.
No, I can't. We're 20% of the way through a Ben Shapiro video, and the vast majority of the shit that I've done is laugh and agree with him. And this is bad. I'm gonna get in trouble. Just needs to move on to the next one.
Who would opt into this? Okay, everyone who goes on The Bachelor is insane. First of all, the men and the women, they're all crazy. They're all crazy people because why would you possibly wish to date on national TV?
Absolutely true.
But when you're the craziest crazy person in the crazy person lounge, then, yeah. But the utter moral superiority, you don't get to speak as a white person about this thing that we showed you on national TV. You're so obnoxious.
As an elementary school teacher,
This is okay. It's probably gonna get bad now. We just had the one. We just had the one.
in Florida, this new bill has really been weighing on me a lot.
It's from Libs of TikTok.
I teach first grade, which means my classroom is one of the ones that will be directly affected. For those of you who haven't been in the classroom a while, one of the things that teachers always do at back to school night and meet the teacher and things like that is they send home this cute little meet the teacher thing where it has a little bio about us, some of our favorite stuff, just so that you know who we are.
All right. Now, chat. There are two timelines. One is which this person's meet your teacher thing is totally innocuous. And it's just some basic, yeah, I'm gay. I have a partner who is of the same gender, and we both like snorkeling, because it's Florida. And the other timeline is where it's something that is maybe a little bit weird, but not a huge deal. I don't think there's any timeline in which this person says something that warrants the harassment they no doubt received after this was posted to Libs of TikTok. That make sense? We're getting innocuous or mildly weird. I would be shocked if anything comes out here that warrants the fear-mongering bullshit Libs of TikTok throws out there.
How do I do that next year? Do I lie and not talk about my marriage? Do I pretend I'm single? Do I invalidate my spouse's stance as a trans femme person?
Are you one of those single-tier people?
Or do I put my job on the line?
How about you stop talking to your kids about your private life because no one cares? Nobody cares! I'm amazed at how many adults think that it is the job of children to validate their lifestyle choices. I'm amazed by this.
Aren't these things for the parents? Wait, when they do these things where it's and here's the teacher who will be teaching your second grader, it's for the parents, not for the kids. Also, aren't a lot of parents are interested in the personal details of the teachers that'll be teaching their kids? Personally, if I had a kid and they were off in first grade or whatever, if the if the teacher sent a thing and it was hey, I'm this person, I grew up here and then I moved here. This is my husband, blah, blah. I would look at that with some sense of comfort, I suppose. I mean, you are trusting these people to teach your kids, right? This has nothing to do with indoctrinating children. This is about informing parents. Yeah, yeah, okay. Also, the only thing this person has brought up is acknowledging the fact that they're in a queer relationship, that's as simple as saying my wife or my husband or my partner, in a legally ambiguous circumstance where the wrong terminology could potentially get them to lose their job. Yeah. This is completely innocuous.
This is just an insane thing to me.
That's insane.
You exist to protect the innocence of children. They do not exist.
Protect the innocent. Wait. Okay, so Ben's like a classic homophobe here. So I like the implication that children learning the idea that gay people exist destroys their innocence. And secondly, I like the idea that teachers are there to protect the innocence. They're there to educate the kids. Depending on your definition of innocence, you know, that's just not a enforceable contract.
Exist to make you feel better about the things that you do in your private life. And if
and when did this person say it had anything to do with validating their identity? Like, Ben's immediate response was, the children do not exist to validate your private life. When did they say that? They only said, like, when sending briefs about who the teacher is going to be. Like, how can I even acknowledge my partner? Will I get fired for doing that? Like, what does that have to do with validation?
If it makes it tougher for you to talk to kids about your private life, maybe that's okay. Because again, that's not the job. I went to elementary school. I went to a public elementary school. I do not remember any of the teachers talking about who they were married to or what their dating lives were like, because their job was to teach me things.
I think I distinctly remember basically every teacher I had at some point making a reference to their spouse. Like, very casually, because it's not even remotely weird, like, at all. Like, not even slightly weird. I distinctly remember, yeah, when I was in kindergarten, our teacher went from Miss to Mrs. Like, everyone called her Miss something, and then she got married, and it was Mrs. And she was like, yeah, my husband, something, just to mention her husband. Like, that's it. Like, there's nothing weird there. He's implying their private life is a part of instruction. Hey guys, remember when I went on that panel with the Hippy Dippy? And they were like, actually, the bill from Florida is not a problem because they can distinguish between instruction and casually mentioning. And Ben Shapiro is saying it's a good thing this law would keep them from doing something that's not part of the classroom instruction. Like, they were like, oh no, it only prevents the mention of sexuality in curriculum. But here Ben Shapiro is being more honest, indicating, no, yeah, we want you to just... It can never come up under any circumstances, even when this is unambiguously not a part of the curriculum. Because, you know, he's actually being kind of honest about the fact that the point is just to flatly silence discourse, not just to, prevent it from being incorporated into the official curriculum.
This generalized notion that teachers are to be seeking celebration from children. There's something wrong.
Celebrate? What? It's the loaded terms. From the fact and logic, it's just saying mentioned. Celebration?
Wrong with you if you seek celebration from a child, period. End of story.
That's weird. Wait, also, about anything? You can't, like, if you're like a third grade teacher and you did something cool and you want to share with the class, like, what if you, like, made a really cool quilt and you're like, look at my cool quilt, and the kids are like, woo, okay, no, whatever.
As an American citizen, I find it truly disgusting that my country goes 40 steps forward just for people like the governor in Florida to take us 30 steps backwards. Don't say gay, Bill. Are you serious? Don't talk about what I went through and what my fellow gay LGBTQ plus community went through to get me here. Are you serious right now? Is the government sleeping? Why are they letting you do this? Isn't this the free country, the free world, freedom of speech? Don't say gay. That goes against freedom of speech. You cannot sit here and say being gay is not a choice when you're not gay. You don't know that. Now you want to make learning about our history illegal? You are literally making it harder for children to feel comfortable because conservative parents feel like it's not okay. They're not gay. It's not their place to talk about it. Stop being concerned with what other people like. This is disgusting. Ew.
Okay, stop being concerned.
I just want to say, it's remarkable in how that person could say nothing wrong and I still dislike them after. I'm sorry. Yeah. 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 Listen, okay. Yeah, it's not they're wrong. It's not they're a bad person. It's just a volume thing. Chalk it up to my autism. I mean, you know why Ben Shapiro's team picks these TikToks, right? Like, for every one of these, there are 40 of people being more reasonable, but you know why. Do you hate passion? No, I don't. No, I don't hate passion. Anyway, let's see how Ben Shapiro tackles it. Let's go.
With other people, like, also, I want to indoctrinate your kids. Stop
I love that. Facts and logic, man. Indoctrinate your kids. Talking about something. It's very stupid.
getting in other people's business. Also, conservative parents, shut up. The freedom of speech.
Wait, what? Wait, not only do those not contradict, those are the same things. Stop getting in other people's business. Also, conservative parents, shut up. Yeah, those are the same point. Twice. Because the conservative parents are the ones trying to interfere with the existing educational system to prevent other people from being able to speak.
Of this person has not been in any way compromised. In fact, the freedom of screaming like a crazy person of this person has not been compromised in any way. All of the well-calibrated emotional response.
Oh my God. Oh God. Is this how a meme dies? Jesus Christ. This is like the equivalent of SNL using a meme here. Oh my God.
To a pretty baseline bill about not sexually indoctrinating children seems to have some people pretty upset.
The sexual indoctrination. God, I wish I could talk. I need to talk to more conservatives about this grooming thing, because I was talking with Deborah So, and she basically was like she did not want to talk about the grooming thing. Like every time I was like, so can you justify this at all? She would back off that. Like she had no spine for defending it. You know, I need to get more conservatives to talk about this grooming shit, like to debate them on it or whatever. Because guys, remember how during the entirety of the Me Too movement, conservatives were terrified of like the epidemic of false rape accusations, and now all it takes is for you to say you shouldn't literally ban the discussion of gender and sexuality in schools for conservatives to accuse you of being a... Like, they're extremely concerned with false allegations, and yet, like, just everyone, you know, they're essentially falsely accusing hundreds of millions of Americans to that extent. Yeah. Sadly, James Lindsay's too much of a fucking pussy to talk to. Oh yeah, I said James Lindsay is a pussy, basically, in my convo with Dr. Deborah So, and he actually quote tweeted her tweet. Can anyone find that? Quote tweeted the reveal tweet of that, saying like, I'm not a pussy, I'm not afraid of Vosh, I just won't talk to him, or something like that, you know? Yeah. Can anyone find that tweet? He tweets like 1 billion times a day, so it's really tough to scroll back and find anything. James Lindsay Vosh, and then if I look back through the past like month, past week of tweets. Here, wait, from my Reddit. Here we go. Listen to this and hear Vush. Wait, did he actually say Vush? Wait, was that an edit? Did he actually say Vush? He did? That's incredible. Try to say comprehensive sex education grooming is good and anti-grooming. That I'm apparently running from him. Truth is, I respect him zero, simply refuse to talk to him. Yeah. Yeah, he must be a fan, dude. Maybe he browses Okay Buddy Vosh. That is wild. Damn, no, he actually, that is very, very funny. A serious review of the studies these people tried out in support of their policy proposals is necessary. Didn't I literally mention studies with Dr. Deborah So? First of all, Dr. Deborah So, when talking with James Lindsay herself, actually brought up a number of studies in favor of comprehensive sex education. And then I talked about like the studies that do exist on preventing sexual abuse, support the idea of comprehensive sexual education. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. It's just kind of funny. Yeah, woo, culture war. Anyway, I wish I could talk more about it, but I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I'm super bored of conservatives having nothing to say but okay groomer, and like not even pretending they have an argument, you know? Like, so far, I haven't even seen an effort from a single conservative even attempt to explain the link between being able to acknowledge the existence of gay and trans people in classrooms and grooming. I haven't even seen them attempt to. Like, I haven't even seen a fake study where they're like, this led to more abuse of children. They couldn't find one. They'd have to make one up. But I like nothing. I've seen nothing of it. There's no there's not even a fake effort to lie about it. It's just like they want to establish it as a kind of inimicable conceptual relationship that has nothing to do with like logic and exists purely as like a tautological link, you know, between children learning about gay and trans issues and grooming.
Which says more about them than it does about the bill. We'll get back to some more of your woke TikToks.
No, you're not.
1 second. First, search VPN.com.
Nope. Wow, that was a long one.
That to the get 3 extra months free, or click the link in my description below. Why are you doing?
Good argument.
Straight cis people. Allies. What the f are you doing? Seriously. Shit is going down in Florida, Texas, Idaho, South Carolina. It's going down everywhere. What the f are you doing about it? This is your mess that my community has to suffer. I see lots of yep, 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 yep. Like y'all think you're Pac-Man. But I don't see nothing.
I just want to say that I appreciate the fact that this person has expressed through phrenology the fact that they do in fact live in Florida. You know, like we know they're at the heart of the conflict. Having been in Florida, we know we know they're being affected directly. Boss, shut the fuck up. I love this person. No, I'm not making any moral commentary. However, Floridian phrenology is a real thing, and if you disagree with me, frankly, you're delusional. Isn't Xander Hall, doesn't he live in Florida? Yes. They have very large eyes. Like every part of their eyes is big. Like anime eyes. Is that a face filter? Yeah, that might be a filter. Those are, I don't know.
So how many coffins will it take?
I don't think it's a filter.
How many members of my community have to die because of this wave of hate? 100? 500? 10,000?
Okay. So, while we're waiting for Ben Shapiro's epic comeback to, let's be fair, no arguments from this person. I think that as a general rule, this is a really bad kind of non-point to make. So think of who's listening to arguments like this, okay? What you're going to get is you have two groups of people, really. Sympathetic cis people and unsympathetic cis people, all right? Now, an unsympathetic cisgender person will never be moved by something like this. They will, in fact, be pushed further into their position because the only argument seems to be a kind of identity-based, you know, if you're this, you should feel guilty, which, I mean, the text up top kind of indicates that. And if you're a sympathetic cis person, not only does this not sort of improve your positions at all, it comes across as quite indignant. So I think even though outrage is an understandable response to what we're going through, and by we, I mean trans people, I'm not trans, I'm cis, thank you. I don't think it's appropriate to channel that outrage into a sort of indignant criticism of like a broader identity of people for not doing enough. Which is not very convincing.
50,000? 100,000? A million?
A million?
Million.
Wow. A million transgender Americans are going to be murdered this year? Explain.
Why don't you back it up with a
Well, hold on. They didn't say this year, did they? They just said in general.
source? My source is that I made it the f up.
I do like the Pac-Man reference. That was good. Also, I feel bad that this person's
coming from Ben Shapiro as well. He's like, hey, wow, I can't believe you would just make that assertion that lots of trans people are going to die in America. By the way, the children learning that gay people exist is the same as being a sexual pedophile. That's okay. Thank you.
hair got caught in some sort of electrical fire. That's sad.
I know that every person of color has been on the receiving end of this, so my video is actually more for white people, actually.
I don't want to hear from you.
This is a serious question.
fuck, that's what I think too. God damn it. Anytime anyone says, listen, white people, like, I know it's gonna be some goddamn... Oh, God.
And I would like a serious answer in my comment section or a stitch.
Why do you keep hating on the POC? Nah, they're the ones that are picking the unreasonable TikToks, okay? If anyone is like, hey, I have a good point to make, but I want to address it specifically at a privileged group, thus invalidating the argument and making it a lot more pretentious and condescending. Like, no, it's very, very dumb. There's no point. If you have a good political argument, you never have to say, like, all right, white people, listen up. Like, you should never have to do that. The points themselves can be good. It's just like, there's no reason to frame that. You will never convince more people. Ever. You will never do that. It will never happen.
Right now.
Are y'all...
MLK did it. He did it better, but he did it. MLK didn't just, like, do speeches where he was like, all right, this one's for white people. Like, no. If you, like, to compare this with the way in which MLK wrote and spoke is just a million leagues away. MLK be like, hey, Mayo. True.
Aware that y'all often take up space with...
Okay. See, stuff like this really is about a clout game, okay? So I'm going to let them finish, and then I'm going to make their point better for them in a way that's more correct and less divisive, like pointlessly divisive, okay?
Disregard for the people of color around you.
Stop for a second. What does it mean to take up space? Like existing? Take up space. That's like human existence. Since we are not, in fact, two-dimensional creatures, we take up space. Take up space.
This editing, man. The big bucks.
If there's any confusion, I can give you guys an example.
Yeah.
I'm from New York City. Sometimes a sidewalk is narrow to the point where there's only enough room for two modes of traffic, one going and one coming. But that has never stopped white people from walking side by side and holding hands.
We must talk to white people specifically. The epidemic of couples holding hands. This is racist, by the way. This has nothing to do with white people. This has to do with her liking white people less than non-white people, so she notices this behavior more from white people. What, like, why couldn't you just say, hey, when there's a narrow sidewalk and there's not enough room to walk, like, don't walk shoulder to shoulder, like, step single file so other people can walk around you. Like, and like a normal person, instead of this, hey, listen up, white people, we need to talk about white people taking up space. So first, we're misusing progressive terminology, okay? That's the first thing we're doing. Taking up space. When Ben Shapiro said, what does that mean? You mean physically existing? I thought that was like comedic misunderstanding. And by taking up space, what this person actually meant was, you know, overrepresenting themselves vocally in progressive spaces. But no, they actually meant physically taking up space. Great. So we're already sort of, misappropriating progressive terminology. And then it's like, for something every group of people does, holding hands while walking down. So I would say not only is this like a stupid point, I am negatively judging this person. Like, I'm thinking less of them. What if she's shitposting? If this is satire, then I think it's funny. The problem is that I've seen so many people sincerely act like this in the online left that I just have very low capacity for charitability, you know. Like, maybe I would have thought this was satire a couple of years ago, but, like, I just see so many people act like this. Like, just, like, for real at me, you know?
Hands. And expecting you to either stand and wait for them to pass or walk in the street if you need to keep them.
Wait, hold on. I'm to be informed that only white people hold hands. That's great. Things I didn't know.
You're so white.
Also, apparently, only white people walk down the street and other people move out of the way for them. That has not been the experience of most humans on Earth. It seems like that happens pretty much everywhere. Lots of crowded places, people move around for each other. By the way, I like the guy in the back. Who's the guy in the background? I'm just noticing there's a person who's standing around in the background while this person films. Looks like they're in some sort of uniform. So this is at the insane asylum. And there's a person in the background who's making sure this person doesn't escape her cell.
Are you guys aware that this is something that you do, or is it something that happens by accident? Because people of color are taught to be aware of how much space they're taking up.
Oh my god. The weird thing is that if this person wanted to make a salient version of this argument, they should be talking about young men. Young men, I'm pretty sure, are the most egregious violators of the don't take up too much space on the sidewalk thing. Like, Like if you wanted to be like, hey, young dudes, quit, holy shit, like stay in line for a second, okay? But like, no, it has to be about white people. Yeah. Nah, dude, it's young women for sure. Really, I just think it's young people. They do it for different reasons. Young men are individually inconsiderate, and young women form like marauding packs of. They form you know, like stampedes, sort of crowd the, you know. But it's just young people, But it's not white people. It's everyone. It's everyone. And that, like, you go to Delhi, India, and you're just like flowing through the crowd like fish through an ocean. There's no, you know, millions of people just seamlessly flow through because there's no white people
up at all times. So watching you guys take up space without even
Delhi.
thinking about it is mind-blowing to a lot of us.
Is that a thing black people are taught? Not to take up space?
It's a mess to have something taking up space that don't function.
To be like a ninja? Floor is lava? Where is this shit coming from? Frankly, it seems like a great skill set. It's like the Alex Mack show from Nickelodeon back in the day. Turn yourself into a puddle and like go under doors and stuff. I wish to learn the skill.
How is that going to resonate with the Zoomers, Ben? People who use TikTok didn't watch that show. That's a whole No, it's a good reference. It's just
skill set if this is available. If someone can inform me of a class where you don't take up space, I will gladly take this class. This seems like a ninja skill.
Hey y'all, so I just got my uterus back. And it looks so freaking cool. Trigger warning, this is an organ, and it...
Wait. Hold on. I'm squeamish.
It is a wet specimen, and it is my uterus, plus the tubes as well. So, ready for the reveal?
Okay,
This
I
is it.
thought it'd be worse.
This is my uterus. She scrubbed off all the blood. That is my cervix. That's what
Ben!
my cervix looks like, y'all. And these little strings right here are my fallopian tubes. This is my uterus. This is it compared to my...
It's like the Mario 64 start screen. Yeah, it's funny because the body horror going on the left side of the screen is actually worse than what's going on the right.
My head. This little thing causes so much problems for everybody. And I also got a LED plug-in LED stand with it, so it lights up different color and spins while it displays it, which is so cool.
I think I'm gonna vomit. Honest to God, I think I'm gonna vomit.
Now, all right, now hold. Well, well, I don't want to pause on this frame. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. So, personally, I find that revolting. Conceptually, it's badass. You know, like, I do find it revolting in a, you know, in like a personal comfort, you know, like my queasiness kind of way. But if you're talking like in concept, here's my rotating uterus suspended in embalming fluid on the LED light stand. Cool. But this, now, you can bitch and moan about this all you want, Ben. This is just a surgery thing. People have done versions of this for a bunch of different things. You know, people who have an arm or leg amputated, you know, it's like, keep this, the bone, people keep teeth, people get appendices, you know, and this happens. You know, is it common? No, but it's a thing that happens. Yeah.
Why would you show me this, guys?
Well, this is your job.
Better question, why do I pay you to show me this? Honestly, I just feel bad for these folks. I feel bad for folks like this. Like, no
arguments?
I got nothing.
No arguments?
I got nothing. I got fucking nothing.
He's got nothing. No arguments. You know, because in his head, what he's thinking is like, how could this person besmirch the gift God gave them, the right to have children? You know, but he knows it would come across as just kind of stupid and preachy, so he's, nope, nothing. Hello.
What is going on?
What are you? I'm so excited. I finally got my shirt.
It says, Elon Musk breed me daddy. Shouldn't they be together on this? Because Elon Musk's like a big conservative figure right now. What do we got? Okay.
How long is this video gonna go on?
That's what no, Ben, I agree.
Why, God?
All right, Ben, it's just tits. Wait, really? It was just some big tits. Come on, Ben. Ben, I called you heterosexual at the beginning of this. Don't. It's not, we just saw that. Okay, that right there makes up for the legitimately funny opening of this video. The opening of this video was actually funny. And this, like, a chick has big tits. Why, God? And then nothing else. Then, like, the sound, like, this is hackneyed. This is sitcom shit, you know.
I forced a bot to watch over 1,000 hours of Joe Biden speeches and then asked it to write a Joe Biden speech of its own.
Nice.
Here's the first page. Joe Biden speech. Interior speech field. On a stage stands Joe Biden. He smells a podium from behind. A crowd roars, knowing Joe's nose smells America's woes. Bars. Joe Biden.
I've been Delaware and Vice Obama. Now it's time for you to put me in a home. The White Home.
Joe Biden continued.
When I was younger, I had a bully named Kitchen Steve, and he stole my legs for a long weekend. Did I cry? No.
I'm pretty sure this is fake. That's just a bad bot. No, I think this is fake. I think this is a person trying to... Yeah, this is a person pretending it's AI generated. It's not a bot. Which makes this a lot less funny. Yeah. Malarkey! The person admits they're written. Oh. Well, that's boring as hell then. They just admit that it's written? Why not actually do it with the AI? Ah, that's boring. Yeah, you could make that.
The script experience. Well, I hope...
Nah. This video started out so strong, man. Let's watch another. We gotta respect ourselves. Another, more. No more TikToks, okay? Just Ben Shapiro's thoughts on Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Hello. Social media tag search optimization. Editors, you gotta get this one out quickly. Ben Shapiro, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard domestic abuse trial reaction vosh. Oh gosh, that's the first million view video. You haven't talked about this yet, have you? No, I have not. Not really.
The Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation continues to confuse and bewilder.
Give us a thumbnail. I got the ear thing, you know. Give it the. Wait, what's the appropriate face to make at a domestic abuse trial? You know, like that? I don't know. I haven't been to one. Yeah, editors, do your work.
My basic take on the situation is that it is very rare for there to be a marriage like this where both sides are not involved in some sort of kind of nefarious and gross and abusive behavior. It's pretty rare that only one member of a couple, a celebrity couple like this, is the one who's just all to blame and the other one is totally fine. However, Johnny Depp's case is basically Amber Heard has gotten
kind of an odd opening framing. Actually extremely odd. I don't know where we're going with this. Okay. Yeah, usually victims of DV generally act abusive themselves, but usually to a much lower extent and in manners which I would consider to be largely defensive. So, in a lot of cases, like a victim of domestic abuse they'll be unhappy, unstable, they'll be paranoid, fearful, you know, whatever. And like they won't act perfectly themselves, but it's a product of the environment that they've been put in. Whereas the other side is undeniably the instigator, you know. So now obviously this is really complicated and really circumstantial. There are cases of genuine mutual abuse where both people are kind of equally or mostly equally at fault. There are cases where it's all one-sided. And then there are cases, and I think this is by far the most common, where it's mostly one-sided, where the victim acts poorly in some situations as well, where they lash out or they act badly themselves. And then what people who want to cast doubt over the situation will do is they'll equate those two, where one person will be the initiator of abuse and by far the worse of the two, and the other will be lashing out, you know, a victim, whatever. And then it'll be like, okay, well, they're both abusive. They've both been, you know, acting poorly, which I think is essentially a cover for the abuse of the instigator. That is, from what I understand, the vibe of the Heard Depp trial, if I understand correctly. Because this is a defamation trial as to whether or not Depp's claims about the relationship were legitimate, correct? As I understand it. The impression that I've been given from what I've seen is that Johnny Depp did not act perfectly, clearly, but that Amber Heard was I think, far and away the more malicious. Heard, not Heard. Oh, Heard. The more malicious. Johnny Depp got the tip of his finger severed off, was continuously physically abused, and Amber Heard even shat on his bed. I'm not fucking kidding. I see. Well.
To have a career. She defamed me. She gets to have a career. I don't get to have a career. And that is true. I mean, what the tapes so far have shown is that Amber Heard admits on tape to beating Johnny Depp. Now, I understand that there is a sort of root assumption in culture, despite the advances of the feminist movement, that when a woman punches a man in the face, that's considered okay. And if a man punches a woman in the face, that the man should go to jail for the rest of his life.
I like how he's blaming the feminist movement for this, as though it's not the anti-feminists who predominantly push that. Like, he's like, despite the advent of the feminist. Yeah, this is part of the reason why feminism is still necessary. Yeah, it's like, you can't blame them. This would be like saying, can't help but notice that despite the civil rights movement, black men are still disproportionately the subject of hate crimes. But he's like saying it in a way that it's meant to like impugn the civil rights movement. Like, yeah, okay, yeah.
And I agree with that latter part. I just don't think it's okay when a woman punches a man in the face. So I'm on the no punching your spouse in the face bandwagon for the record.
As feminists are. Okay, yeah, right.
Apparently, Amber Heard was engaged in that sort. I mean, she openly admits it on tape. She accuses Johnny Depp of having abused her. It seems like the evidence on that score is pretty circumstantial and skimpy. So she basically, her lawyer yesterday tried to trot out a bunch of bad headlines about Johnny Depp making bad movie decisions as though that was evidence that this is why he hasn't been hired for a while. There are a lot of actors who have a bad stretch and who still are making movies and are still making a lot of money making movies. We all know that what Johnny Depp is saying here is basically true, which is that as soon as Amber Heard started making serious abuse allegations about Johnny Depp, all of his parts just dried up. It's why he was not cast, for example, in the latest Harry Potter franchise.
This is true. I remember back when the allegations came out from Heard, like however many years ago, I distinctly remember hearing from a bunch of people like, oh, what happened with Johnny Depp? Oh, Johnny Depp like abused his wife. It's like, oh, so yeah, like, oh yeah, like things are picking back up. Yeah.
Movie. According to Deadline Hollywood, Johnny Depp ended his testimony in his $50 million defamation trial against Amber Heard on Monday with a declaration that he is the victim of domestic abuse. He said yes when he was asked if he was a victim of domestic violence. The Pirates of the Caribbean actor and his lawyers sought to reclaim the narrative after several days of cross-examination in which Heard's attorney has barraged the jury with text and audio of the actor using violent language and in angry outbursts. In redirect, Depp has declared Heard stood in the way of almost every positive move in his life during their time together until their 2016 divorce. While he admitted last week Heard was instrumental in his 2015 detox from opioids, he also painted his ex-wife as a potential trigger to a relapse. Depp said that if Heard didn't leave their LA residence and check into a bungalow at the Beverly Hills Hotel for several days, I would have gone straight back to the pills. He says, that's not me, that's not who I've ever been. Summing up his, he expressed claims that he'd been physically abusive to Amber Heard. Apparently, Depp had to be mildly reprimanded by the...
We just reading the article? Got a better voice than you do, Ben. I could read the article.
Judge to answer particular questions. In fact, most of the final portions of the actor's multi-day testimony was the legal equivalent of an etch-a-sketch in relation to the distinctly unflattering image presented by Heard's defense team. Depp addressed that on Monday as he was asked about claims he vomited in bed as he slept. Depp admitted he did throw up in response to the stress of his relationship with Heard. At another point, self-described poor old junkie Depp could be heard on a recording boasting to Heard that, quote, I'm never getting clean and sober. That was preceded by audio of Heard talking to Depp about an occasion when he, quote, beat the crap out of her. Bizarrely, Depp's lawyers played another recording of the couple arguing over Depp wanting to walk out on Heard, where the actor called her a pain in the ass, a harpy, and a... Additionally, the...
He's just reading the article. Do we have any, like, intake or position?
Agitated Depp was heard saying that Heard had a borderline personality disorder, as the actress told him that she loved him. So I'm not sure why they were taping each other this much. That's always a sign of a good relationship. My understanding is it was for some sort of documentary. Well, that's unpleasant. But Depp basically claims that Heard was beating him up. She was claiming that he beat her up. There's evidence to the fact that she beat him up, actually. There's less evidence to the idea that he beat her up. He's the one who lost his career, however. Depp told the court of the recording, "I was done. I stated clearly I don't want to be with you." When asked by his lawyer, Jessica Myers, how he felt in the final days of his marriage, he was, quote, abstract, as an innocent. That was sort of the impression that had been put out there. So that's the entire case that Johnny Depp is making against Amber Heard here. And their lawyers kind of started pushing this. Weirdly enough, her lawyers started pushing this. According to Deadline Hollywood, Depp appeared agitated as attorney Benjamin the details of his alleged domestic abuse. Heard's attorney noted...
Why are you guys so... I swear, you like... Someone's like, hey, what if I create an account of Ush site and, like, get attention by saying the N-word or whatever? And you people fall for it every time. Why do you pay attention? Like, who cares? Like, someone came in here and said the N-word. They're, like, so bad. It's so bad of them to say, shit. Like, why do you care? Like, Jesus. You want the whole world to stop, to have a fucking spotlight shined on everyone? Like, Jesus Christ.
That Depp didn't try to get the restraining order lifted in 2016, nor did he try to clear his name in the divorce trial. There were no charges pressed against me, Depp said.
Holy shit, he actually doesn't say anything.
Literal. What is clear is that she does admit on tape to beating him up. So, again, what I keep coming back to here is that there's no question that Johnny Depp's career has basically been ended by Amber Heard's allegations, and that she has not yet really backed the...
Remarkably uninteresting. That is incredible. That's not even worth a goddamn video. He's just reading an article. How many Elon Musk videos do you have? Elon Musk, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. If here can the average Ben Shapiro viewer read? A fair point. Read the article yourself and make that a video. I just, I don't really follow the celebrity drama trial bullshit that much because it tends to be pretty boring, but like, I don't know. It feels like there are some lessons that people are still learning in spite of the fact that they're really trite and kind of overdone at this point. Like men can be victims of DV from women. I feel like most people have learned that, even if they don't practice what they preach. Like they understand that conceptually, but they don't really act with that knowledge in mind. They just sort of ignore it unless it's very pointedly brought up in a given context. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, obviously it's unfortunate, you know, the whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp situation. It seems like Johnny Depp got the worst end of it by far. But like, what info are we going to get out of this? Like, what pointers are we going to pull from it? I have no idea if it's going to change anything. No, I know that the particulars of the case are interesting. It's just, I don't have any prescriptions to make there. Like what, laughing at the lawyers? No. People judge the entire Me Too movement over this. Why? This what Johnny Depp is doing right now is Me Tooing. He's literally that's precisely what Johnny Depp is doing. I have no idea what I have no idea how that'd be a strike against. There was the self-objection thing people made fun of. Yeah, I heard about this, but I didn't see it. Amber Heard's lawyer objects to his own question.
So Amber Heard's attorney objected to his own question? I gotta see this.
You were not informed as to what caused damage to Mr. Depp's finger on March 8th?
So that's hearsay.
Objection,
probably.
hearsay.
He's objecting to hearsay. You're asking what they were told.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th?
That's an ambiguous question. You can know something by being told something or just viewing it firsthand.
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Okay.
Oh boy. The problem here is that he asked an ambiguous question that elicited a hearsay response. I mean, it's complicated. It might not be hearsay. That's a different issue. And it's not that he objected to his own question, it's that he objected to the testimony. What he should have done is made a motion to the court to strike the answer as hearsay. But effectively the judge is saying, you asked the question, it might not be hearsay, so you can live with the answer, and everyone is exasperated here. It's not the finest lawyering I've ever seen, but being a trial lawyer is hard. You only have a split second, and this is a totally normal thing that happens all the time, albeit phrased in an unfortunate way that kind of makes this lawyer.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. People spaghetti their speech all the time. Like trial lawyers at high-profile celebrity cases are probably bound to do that a little bit as well. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like a bit of a clown show. I mean, can you imagine being in the position of Amber Heard's lawyers, right? Sort of a difficult. I feel like for the most part, people are way too hard on lawyers. I feel like if a lawyer is an activist lawyer, that is to say, they don't just go through the proceduralism, you know, they actually make an effort to sort of politically advocate one way or another. They make decisions one way or another. I think those lawyers can be judged, but generally speaking, I mean, in our legal system, at least for criminal cases, and let's just say like a proper criminal case, you know, people give a lot of shit to the prosecution and to the defense, but in concept, there is like a sacred right to proper legal representation to both sides. You know what I mean? I guess it always bothered me a little bit when there'd be like some horrible fucking criminal, you know, like a child porn guy or like a rapist or some horrible serial killer or whatever, and then like there would be videos come out from the trial and people would attack the defense lawyer just for defending the guy, and it's like, I understand that you want justice to be done, but there is a reason why we have the state have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt the validity of these charges. You know, you do not want to normalize the idea that's like, oh, well, we've decided this person's guilty, even if they are totally guilty, which if that's the case, then the prosecution should be able to prove that case, you know. But in order for that system to function, there needs to be a legal expectation that both the prosecution and the defense are doing the best they can. In fact, you can literally have a mistrial declared if you feel that your defense has not tried hard enough in providing you a defense, though it can be difficult to do that because that's very difficult to prove. But if there's a sufficient level of incompetence or disinterest demonstrated on the part of the lawyer, then you can 5-4 podcast. Yeah, state lawyers are honestly not paid enough. Most lawyers are not paid enough. Defense attorneys can be disbarred for throwing a case. Yeah, it's just the court system is so overburdened, it's really difficult to. I read an article by a defense lawyer for war criminals. Interesting point of view on justice. Well, I think you can make an argument for something like that, that you would actually want even the worst criminals to have good lawyers because you want the case against them to be as strong as possible, even if you already know they're guilty. Say, for example, Adolf Hitler. If Adolf Hitler had survived and had been tried for crimes against humanity, for which he would have certainly been found guilty and would have been hanged by the neck until dead, after that trial, that's the only outcome that would have taken place. But in such a trial, I would have wanted him to have the best possible legal defense because it would have forced the prosecution to provide the best possible arguments to put him to death. You know, because if the trial, if it's a show trial, if the prosecution gets to go, well, you definitely did it, and he did, you dead, son, and then he gets hanged. For the rest of time, you know, that will be seen as a show trial, kangaroo court, by people who sympathize with Hitler. Whereas if it's this protracted months and months of just rigorous evidence gathering necessary to defeat the arguments from the defense, I think at the end of the day, you have a much better historical and legal record to draw from when it comes to the nature of the condemnation. And what if he got off? Well, in his case, that would require some pretty impressive defense lawyering. Now, none of what I'm saying right now applies if the lawyers are being underhanded, of course. Even if there is a sacred right to proper legal defense, that doesn't apply if a defense lawyer is lying or, you know, trying BS arguments out or being duplicitous or stalling the process or blah-de-blah, you know.